Unless you can prove it to me with absolute 100% certainty, I'm not going to believe it. Have you ever said that in relation to a belief in God? Or have you ever heard anyone say that in reference to belief in God? Hi, I'm Aaron, and on today's Unapologetics, we're going to talk about certainty before we believe. Okay, so it's understandable to see how someone might want irrefutable proof before they believe that God exists. After all, such a big step, a life-altering, life-direction-changing moment, because that's what faith is, right? I mean, if God is real, then everything changes. If everything doesn't change because God is real, then God isn't worth your time. So it's understandable to be nervous about this and say, I want 100% certainty before I believe. But you know what? If we had 100% certainty, it wouldn't be belief, it would be acknowledgement. It wouldn't be faith, it would be just acknowledgement. And so today, as we talk about this, guys, I'd like to tell you that we think in 2020 America, everything's all figured out. Everything's black and white. All the answers, well, we have it all figured out. And what we don't have figured out, we'll soon figure out. That's kind of what we believe, but I'll let you in on a little secret here that that's not the case. The big things that really matter are mostly uncertain. The little things, those are the things that we know are for certain. For instance, 2 + 2 = 5. We know that for certain. 2 + 2 = 4. We know that for certain, but it doesn't change the way we live. Trying to figure out the meaning of life, the purpose of life, and what happens when we die. These things are super uncertain, and they may make us a little bit uncomfortable. But these are the things that matter. Let me give you 2 quick examples here about the uncertainty that we often don't think about. Example number 1, and these are from Alistair McGrath. Example number 1 is historical fact. How do we know with 100% certainty that events actually happened at the dates, the times, and the way that they are reported to have happened? How do we know that Caesar died on such and such a day in such and such a way? Maybe somebody who's reporting the story to us forgot. After all, we all know how we forget dates and times, and especially in Corona time, right? Nothing. Can you believe that it's August already? Things just get kind of squishy and you forget things. Or on, I'm picturing that really famous picture of Washington crossing the Delaware in the boat on that night, that cold winter's night. How do we know that happened on that night in that way? What if somebody got the dates mixed up or something? So those are historical facts, aren't really facts. They're more like uncertain hope-sos. Now, the second thing, and this one might stick us a little bit harder, is science. Science is uncertain in every way, shape, and form. Science is uncertain. Now, if you think about the laws of physics, for instance, or the laws of this or that in science, these laws are descriptive. They are not prescriptive. They describe what will probably happen next. Scientists observe, summarize data and events, and project into the future with degrees of probability what will happen, but they are not 100% certain that this X, Y, or Z will happen. Science is faith also. Science is faith that the whole of, I'm going to say creation, they'll say the universe, is repeatable and measurable. How do we know? It's a faith that physical events are repeatable and measurable. How do we know that gravity works the same way every time? It's faith. Just because we've seen it this way so far does not mean that it will later. It's a faith, uncertainty, okay? And so science facts aren't really facts either. They are degrees of probability predicting what will come next. No absolute certainty. For goodness sake, science, like we've talked about before, science can't even describe how gravity works. It's so weak, and yet it holds the entire universe together. Okay? Now, so I'd like to just kind of poke you about that. You know, sometimes we can think science is kind of almost a religion where priests are in white lab coats rather than vestments that we might see at a more high church place. So let's just say that religion isn't pushed out by the ever-advancing knowledge of science. People have thought that for the last 300 years, and God is more present than ever on people's minds, I believe. Let me give you another example. I cannot prove with 100% certainty that coming out of, in this window, this is the east, by the way, that in tomorrow morning, the sun, I will see it rise in this window. I can't give you 100% certainty of that. I hope it will. In this room that I'm sitting in right now, I cannot give you 100% certainty that instantly all the oxygen molecules will exit this room, be sucked out, and I will suffocate. I hope that they won't, but I can't tell you with 100% certainty that they will not. Everything is in uncertain terms, and we live in a hope. We live in hope, and you know what? We can find a happy life in uncertainty, in uncertain times, and in hope that certain things will be. And that can apply to our faith in God. If we don't have it or if we do have it, our hope, that's what faith is. Faith is an act of hope and trust that God is, and God is faithful, and God will do what God has said God will do. Okay, so again, the things that we can be absolutely sure of are pretty trivial in comparison to the larger things going on in the world. Now, let's talk about faith, okay? Christian faith. Here again, faith is faith. It's not certainty, and that's why it's called faith and not certainty. Faith is like a candle that you're holding in a dark room. It illuminates just far enough to take one more step. The candle illuminates just far enough, and you've probably had candles like that, where it's just far enough to go one more step. Now, if you turned on the light, you could see the entire room, and you would be certain of what's in the room. But faith is like a candle. Room for one more step, and one more step, and that's okay. For instance, too, how do we know that our family members love us? How do we know that a spouse would love us, or any of these things? We have the faith, the hope that this day they will be with us, and tomorrow they will be with us. Faith going slowly. Now, what about doubt? What about doubting? See, because this might come in there too. See, well, I want to believe, but I just have these moments of doubt, and so if I can't get over it, I don't want to go all in. But let me tell you what, doubt and faith can be coexistent. In fact, mostly they are, because doubt is just that uncertainty, not knowing all of the answers, and it kind of creeps in. That's doubt. That's doubt. Whereas unbelief is a conscious choice not to believe. So unbelief and faith cannot exist together, but doubt and faith can. In fact, most every Christian I know, me included, it's like a roller coaster. Some days you have more doubt, other days it goes away, and up and down all the way through your life. Doubt comes and goes because we just don't know all the answers, and that's okay. So don't let doubt stand in your way of faith. Doubt is an okay thing to have. So let me conclude with this. If you really want everything 100% certain in your life, you're not going to have it. you're going to be a miserable person. Because most everything, like we've said, is uncertain. And for sure, all of this I can be certain about. The things that matter are uncertain. 2 + 2 = 5. Who cares? 2 + 2 = 4. That doesn't matter. That doesn't change our life. But faith can come in the midst of doubting. Faith can exist in uncertainty. Just because we have those in our life, we shouldn't stop our faith advancement or conversation about faith. Hold on by your fingertips if necessary. Like a rock climber on the side of a sheer face. Hold on with those fingertips for dear life, and it's okay. Just keep climbing. Just keep holding. Don't let a lack of proof keep you from believing in God or Jesus. Because truth be told, we can not prove that God exists. We cannot prove that God doesn't exist. So if you're a Christian or an atheist, you have faith. One way or the other. You just have faith in something else, because neither side can be proven. So, where does that leave us? That leaves us in an uncertain world where beauty exists and hope exists. Life and love are this big mystery. But that's the kind of life we live. And if we want a robotic kind of life, it wouldn't be life at all. If we wanted 100% proof of everything, it wouldn't be life at all. Not the way we know it. And so today, thanks for joining me. Uncertainty, it's okay. Seek God anyway. I'm Aaron. Thanks so much for joining me on Unapologetics.